Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Mahārāja, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, Chapter 21, Text 43. Tesham aham pada sarojarenu arya vaheyadhi kiritam ayu yam nityadha bibrata ashupapam nasyat yamum sarvaguna bhajanti. O respectable personalities present here, I beg the blessings of all of you that I may perpetually carry on my crown, the dust of the lotus feet of such Brahmanas and Vaishnavas until the end of my life. He who can carry such dust on his head is very soon relieved from all the reactions which arise from sinful life, and eventually he develops all good and desirable qualities. Purport. It is said that one who has unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means unflinching faith in the Vaishnava, or the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, develops all the good qualities of the demigods. Yasyasti bhaktir Bhagavat yakinchan sarvar gunaistatra samashyate sura. Bhagavatam 5.18.12. Prahlad Maharaja also said, Naisham matistavad uru karman grim. Bhagavatam 7.5.32. Unless one takes the dust of the lotus feet of a pure Vaishnava on one's head, one cannot understand what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. And unless one knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's life remains imperfect. A great soul who has fully surrendered to the Supreme Lord, after understanding him fully and after repeatedly undergoing austerities and penances for many, many lives, is very rare. The crown of a king is simply a big load if the king or head of the state does not actually bear the dust of the lotus feet of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. In other words, if a liberal king like Pṛthu Maharaj does not follow the instructions of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, or does not follow the Brahminical culture, he is simply a burden of the state, for he cannot benefit the citizens. Maharaj Pṛthu is the perfect example of an ideal chief executive. Text 44. Gunhayanam shila dhanam kritagyam Vridashrayam samvranatenu sampad Prashidatam brahmakulam gavam cha Janardana sanu charaschamhayam. Whoever acquires the Brahminical qualifications, whose only wealth is good behavior, who is grateful and who takes shelter of the experienced persons, and gets all the opulence of the world. I therefore wish that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates be pleased with the Brahmana class, with the cows, and with me. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped with the prayer Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Thus it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead respects and protects the Brahmanas and Brahminical culture, as well as the cows. In other words, wherever there are Brahmanas and Brahminical culture, there are cows and cow protection. In a society or civilization in which there are no Brahmanas or Brahminical culture, cows are treated as ordinary animals and slaughtered at the sacrifice of human civilization. The specific mention of the word Gavam by Pṛthu Maharaj is significant Because the Lord is always associated with cows and his devotees. In pictures, Lord Krishna is always seen with the cows and his associates, such as the cowherd boys and the gopis. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot be alone. Therefore, Pṛthu Maharaj said, Sanucharascha, indicating that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always associated with his followers and devotees. A devotee acquires all the good qualities of the demigods. He is Gunayanam, the reservoir of all good qualities. His only asset is good behavior, and he is grateful. Gratitude for the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of the qualities of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Everyone should feel grateful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he is maintaining all living entities and supplying all their necessities. As stated in the Vedas, the Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, Eko Bahonom Yo Vidhati Kaman, the one who is supplying all necessities to the living entities. The living entity, who is therefore grateful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is certainly qualified with good characteristics. The word Vridhashrayam is very significant in this verse. Vridha refers to one who is advanced in knowledge. There are two kinds of old men, those who are advanced in years and those who are experienced in knowledge. One who is advanced in knowledge is actually Vridha, Jnana Vridha. One does not become Vridha simply by advancing in age. Vridhashrayam, a person who takes shelter of the superior person who is advanced in knowledge, can acquire all good qualities of a Brahmana and be trained in good behavior. When one actually attains good qualities, becomes grateful for the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and takes shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, he is endowed with all opulence. Such a person is a Brahmana or Vaishnava. Therefore, Pṛthu Maharaj invokes the blessings and mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with his associates, devotees, Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, and cows. Text 45. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Pruvanam Nipratim Patre Devad Vijataya Tushtuvor Hrishta Manasa Sadhu Vadena Sadhava. The great sage Maitreya said, after hearing King Pṛthu speak so nicely, all the demigods, the denizens of Pitraloka, the Brahmanas, and the saintly persons present at the meeting congratulated him by expressing their goodwill. Purport. When a person speaks very nicely at a meeting, he is congratulated by the audience, who express their goodwill with the words sadhu, sadhu. This is called sadhuvad or sadhuvada. All the saintly persons, the pittas, denizens of Pitraloka, and the demigods who are present at the meeting and heard Pṛthu Maharaj express their goodwill with the words sadhu, sadhu. They all accepted the good mission of Pṛthu Maharaj and they were fully satisfied. Text 46. Putrena jayate lokan iti satyavati shruti brahmadanda hata papo yadveno tyataratama. They all declare that the Vedic conclusion that one can conquer the heavenly planets by the action of a putra or son was fulfilled, for the most sinful Vina, who had been killed by the curse of the Brahmanas, was now delivered from the darkest region of hellish life by his son, Maharaj Pṛthu. Purport. According to the Vedic version, there is a hellish planet called Put, and one who delivers a person from there is called a putra. The purpose of marriage, therefore, is to have a putra, or son, who is able to deliver his father, even if the father falls down to the hellish condition of Put. Maharaj Pṛthu's father, Vina, was a most sinful person, and was therefore cursed to death by the Brahmanas. Now all the great saintly persons, sages, and Brahmanas present in the meeting after hearing from Maharaj Pṛthu about his great mission in life, became convinced that the statement of the Vedas had been fully proved. The purpose of accepting a wife in religious marriage, as sanctioned in the Vedas, is to have a putra, a son qualified to deliver his father from the darkest region of hellish life. Marriage is not intended for sense gratification, but for getting a son fully qualified to deliver his father. But if his son is raised to become an unqualified demon, how can he deliver his father from hellish life? It is therefore the duty of a father to become a Vaishnava and to raise his children to become Vaishnavas. Then, even if by chance the father falls into a hellish life in his next birth, such a son can deliver him as Maharaj Pṛthu delivered his father. 47. Hiranyakashipuschapi Bhagavanindayatama Vivikshor Atyagatsuno Praladasyanu Bhavata. Similarly, Hiranyakashipu, who by dint of his sinful activities always defied the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered into the darkest region of hellish life, but by the grace of his great son, Prahlad Maharaj, he also was delivered and went back home, back to Godhead. Purport. When Prahlad Maharaj offered benediction to Nrsimhadev due to his great devotion and tolerance, he refused to accept any benediction from the Lord, thinking that such acceptance was not benefiting a sincere devotee. The rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in expectation of good reward is depreciated by Prahlad Maharaj as a mercantile business. Because Prahlad Maharaj was a Vaishnav, he did not ask a benediction for his personal self, but was very affectionate toward his father. Although his father tortured him and would have killed him had he himself not been killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prahlad Maharaj begged pardon for him from the Lord. This favor was immediately granted by the Lord, and Hiranyakashipu was delivered from the darkest regions of hellish life, and he returned back home, back to Godhead, by the grace of his son. Prahlad Maharaj is the topmost example of a Vaishnava who is always compassionate towards sinful persons suffering a hellish life within this material world. Krishna is therefore known as Paradukkha Dukhi, Kripam Buddhi, or one who is compassionate towards others suffering and who is an ocean of mercy. Like Prahlad Maharaj, all pure devotees of the Lord come to this material world with full compassion to deliver the sinful. They undergo all kinds of tribulations, suffering them with tolerance, because that is another qualification of a Vaishnava, who tries to deliver all fallen persons from the hellish conditions of material existence. Vaishnavas are therefore offered the following prayer. Panchakalpa triyubhyascha kripasindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. The chief concern of a Vaishnava is to deliver the fallen souls. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 48 on Wednesday. Were there any comments or questions from the participants? Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhaktivedanta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Nishangapali Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Ganga Mai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan, Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bo, Hare Krishna.
श्रीपाद कृष्ण केशव प्रभु जी की जय।
Jai Gurudev.
चलो
Dhanava Pranam Didi. Hari Bo, Manu, Hare Krishna.